fact that they've lost to the same team in the qualifier one. So that's something which you need to shake off. Now, how do you do that when you're talking about a group by saying these kind of things? So I think Shreyas is just trying his best to motivate his group, keeping them in the positive side of things rather than thinking about what's happened, because that qualifier one can easily play on Punjab's mind when they take the field today if they get into that pressure zone. So you don't want that. So for when I'm looking at both the teams, the team which requires a good start even more than ever is Punjab, because of the way they've gone about playing against this team in the qualifier one.
But having said that, Zach, we spoke about this, Joyda. They're a team that every time they've fallen, they've risen stronger. They just seem to be so fearless. They've been playing furious cricket, and also we know the record. 11 out of 14 times the team that's won qualifier one has gone on to win the IPL. Do you see that changing with Punjab today?
It's a difficult one, but I think there are some things that are there in their favour. One is the fact that this is a different pitch from Mullanpur. The first pitch they faced was a spicy pitch. They went in early. And because they had young batters who were trying to set a target and they were not sure how much they wanted to get, they just went for it. So I think some of those things, this pitch they have played. They've played here. They've had time to settle for a day or two. They've understood what is required here. They played in that ground. And so I think they'll be a calmer team this time around. They will not make the same mistakes. Having said that, it's still, I think this Bangalore side is a formidable side because lots of good parts. I mean, the total parts, and that's what's been Bangalore's story this year. A team of superstars has become a team of lots of excellent role players as well, with a couple of superstars.
Well, the captain today at the toss said that he would have liked to bowl first as well. But Zach, he said that it's a mix of a red and black soil. Rajat Patidar has said that it will be a mix of the red and black soil. What does that mean? Is it going to be a flatter track?
That means it's going to be a good pitch. There's no doubt about that. Generally, you've seen now in the newer stadiums, you'll have red soil, mixed soil, and the black soil pitches. That's how they've been creating the center pitches. And every soil brings in its own characteristic a little bit. So red soil usually have extra bounce. The mixed soil will have a good bounce. So that's how it should be playing. When you're talking about black soil, it's usually on the lower side. The bounce is on the lower side. So mixed soil should produce a good one. We've seen in this venue usually for the finals it'll be a good pitch.
So which team is going to benefit from this pitch? Do you feel that it's a good toss to win? Who do you see the advantages with?
Well, toss just gives you that benefit of how you have planned the game. You can start the game like that. So if Rajat is saying that they would have also loved to bowl first, it's basically suggesting that bowling first should have a little bit of advantage. But we have to wait and see how it goes. On the finals day, if you have to ask me what will be my choice, I think generally batting first works because once you get runs on board, the pressure of the runs is always on the opposition, and you've seen teams falter on big occasions. The facts which we are talking about, so much at stake that can add that extra bit of pressure. But losing toss and batting first sometimes can work in your favour.
But Joyda, for you, we know both these sides like chasing. We saw what Shreyas did the other night. So both these sides like chasing. Who's got the advantage?
I think Bangalore had the advantage to start with. I think it's mitigated a bit by them winning the toss. Okay, it's come much closer because, see, my feeling is that at least your young openers, last match they didn't know how much was a good target to set. They went out there and they started swinging. This time, Priyansh and Prabhsimran will know how much exactly there is to chase. And therefore, their minds will be clearer in that sense. So I think that works in their favour, and they just had a fantastic chase a few days back. So, so that is the one thing that I think works in their favour. But I think overall, I still feel the pieces that Bangalore bring to the party, there are lots more variations in terms of bowlers, in terms of batters, in terms of each people doing individual contributions. I still think it's slight edges Bangalore's.
All right, if your team is not here at the final, then you don't know who to support. Joyda and GK had the answer to that. Just quickly have a look at what both of them have to say.
So, Professor Bhattacharjya, I can't help thinking about all the passionate fans like you guys out there whose teams didn't make it to the finals. Now, who should they be supporting tonight? I know for a fact that I can't decide. So, what should they do?
I know, but I'm sure some of these guys must be snapping.
Snapping, like taking photos?
No, Gaurav. If they are some of the young fans, I'm sure they're taking a break from taking decisions and snapping a Kit Kat.
Okay, now listen, I feel like you're on the internet a lot more than I am. So tell us, what have you seen now? What have you seen now?
So they're activating DRS in real life by snapping Kit Kats. It's a new trend, Gaurav. Catch up.
Okay, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. You're saying that fans should snap a Kit Kat to find a team to support.
Yeah, okay. Let me show you how, okay? Snap a Kit Kat finger, the longer ones decides which way you go, okay? Look, the other night I couldn't decide whether to watch the highlights or to go to sleep. So I decided to snap the Kit Kat. If the left side turned out to be bigger, highlights. If the right side, I'd go to sleep. Left side. So I decided to watch the highlights again.
Ah, I see. You've got me stumped again. He's got me stumped again. Expert cricket analyst. I call him a I call him a professor of cricket, and now he's a professor of pop culture as well. I see that you've got the Gen Z vibe. You're talking younger, you're acting younger, you're looking younger.
I'm snapping just to decide.
Oh, brilliant. I guess on that note, I have a question. Shall we go on a break? Hand me the Kit Kat. I'm going to snap to decide.
Well, Professor Bhattacharjya has explained it very easily to us. It's just that easy as making your playing 11 on Cricbuzz 11. So the first prize is a big 1 crore. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Quickly go download the app and make your playing 11. If you haven't already and you all want some cues, let's have a look at the playing 11 RCB first. Let's have a look at what RCB have done for the big final. Zach, Joyda, no changes whatsoever for RCB. Any surprises there for you all? Why should they move anything around if it's working?
Unexpected lines, isn't
Yes.
it? When we were also looking at the team before the finals and the options which they have, looked like, they will go in with unchanged 11, unchanged strategies as well. Looking at how they played against this team in the previous one, they will be right now just hoping to replicate the similar kind of performance from the previous game.
Let's quickly have a look at that impact list as well and see if there is no Tim David there either, Joyda.
Yeah, but I think there are 4 international
Yes.
players. I think it's Suyash Sharma who they'll be looking at when they're bowling. He's the guy who comes in. So this is completely, the only change they could have thought of was Liam Livingston. And they must have thought of it and said that if they change Livingston, they could have brought in a batter. But then you're shuffling the entire side and you're moving 3-4 players out of position. Why do that? Let's stick with the same. Livingston is a trusted international bat. He'll come good someday or the other.
Zach, I have to ask you this and get to it right away because we know the loyal fans of RCB. We know our producer Tushar has been hopping on one leg for the last 73 days. Every time he comes, watches a game. We know the fans of RCB, they roll to temples, they're crawling to temples. We know the craze that RCB has. We also know that stars have aligned for them this season. Everything seems to be going right. 18th year, jersey number 18. Like GK said the other day, this date, the 3rd of June, adds up to 18. Is this going to be the year?
Well, just one step closer, I would say, that is how they must be looking at it. And those are the expectations, those are the hopes right now. And you have to give credit to them as well that over the years, they've been patient. Over the years, they've looked at every season with that many expectations. Even with the disappointments, they've not really left their side. So that is what you have to appreciate. So yeah, for the fans, if RCB is crossing the line, nothing can be better than that.
Well, nothing can be better than that because that's all the fans have been praying for 18 long years, Joyda. You see Instagram, you see the reels, you see the memes. We see how passionate the RCB fans are. But this time around, something that has been different for RCB is their auction strategy because they haven't chased those big stars this time. And they set this up in the beginning. They said that we are going to have a more balanced side. We're not chasing the big stars. This is what Mo Bobbin had to say. He said in the past, we're focused on spending big money on a small number of players. This year, we approach it differently, aiming to assemble a balanced team rather than disproportionately spending on top order batters. And we've clearly seen that this has worked for them this season.
No, it absolutely has. And the way they've spent money also, wherever they've spent it, it's shown. Because, they spent a fair amount of money on Jitesh Sharma. And Jitesh Sharma at 7, just in the last match, a couple of matches back, he gave them a match-winning innings from that position, So that's what they've done really well. And I think there's one more thing you have to look at, RCB, whenever you're playing at the Chinnaswamy, it's difficult to bowl anywhere at the Chinnaswamy. Even this time, they haven't been very successful. Plus, of course, thankfully for them, a few matches moved away from it. But what they did was, they felt that they could not get bowlers. In the Chinnaswamy, you cannot plan to say that, okay, this attack will contain the Chinnaswamy, no attack can contain. So I think what they got is very disciplined bowlers. Okay, so this team, this Hazelwood, Yash Dayal, Bhuvi, one thing about all these three is they are disciplined bowlers. So if you tell them that this is the length you need to hit, they can hit it consistently. Okay, so what happens then is, if the ball is hit for 6, it's hit for 6. It doesn't matter. But at least as a bowler, these bowlers are going to bowl to their field and they're going to do what the coach wants them to do. After that, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, great. And I think that's a very interesting way of looking at it because you have a lot of bowlers who are not like that, who are mavericks, who will not listen to everything. And therefore, just look at the dot ball percentage these bowlers have got because they've been hitting those lengths. Take a look at that, 55.8%, 50% dot ball percentage. And that basically tells you that these two are leading the entire, if you look in the first 6 overs, these are leading the entire league in terms of dot ball percentage because whether they get wickets or not, they're always going to be on spot on length.
Zach, it's almost like batters want to play out these overs because if we remember like Sunil Narayan, we remember Rashid in their peak, those 4 overs is almost like let's play them out. So this has been a big advantage for RCB this season.
And also the experience. I think the experience in Bhuvneshwar Kumar has come handy in the situations where you have to close the situations, or at times you just have to do the basic thing, which is going to keep the percentage in your favor. That's what experience brings to the table, and that explains how there was quite a lot of takers for Bhuvneshwar Kumar from the auction as well. The experienced bowler is something which everyone were looking to get in their squad. It's worked out for RCB for those reasons. Checking all the boxes, understanding that what has not been working, what are the challenges of playing at home.
Yes.
They still face those challenges this year. Their home record has not been that great, but what it managed was basically to create a unit which is going to give them a better chance of success.
Well, the bowlers have really worked for RCB, and on the big day, like Zach said, that experience really counts. Let's have a look at Punjab's playing 11. They have a young team. They've gone unchanged, Joyda. That little question of whether Harpreet Brar will play or not play has been answered because they've gone unchanged.
Yeah, that's really interesting because, they obviously felt that this is a team that's doing it for them, and obviously they feel that Vishak's, that slower, the ability to bowl the slow off cutters and, short of length, slow deliveries is better for them. Look, they've succeeded with whatever they have, and what I like about it is they've just made their changes according to what they have. Once they're fixed on a team, again, what you see in both these teams is not just for the finals. They have shown consistently in the way they've chosen their 11s from the very start. If you see at Punjab, the only difference was Maxwell basically went out. Josh Inglis came in and moved a position up. So, Shreyas was batting at 3, Shreyas went to 4, Inglis went at 3. That's the only real change that they've made. Otherwise, they've been very consistent. You look at Bangalore. What are the Bangalore changes? Basically, Livingston going out, Bethel coming in. Basically, only that one position they were looking at, and of course, Tim David is a first injury.
Yes.
And that's why they had to replace him. But otherwise, they've stuck to who they wanted to go with, and I think that makes sense. And therefore, if consistency has got them so far, they're believing in the players who've got them so far.
Well, that impact list should have Prabh Like you said, they haven't changed things around too much, so that will be an obvious choice to have Prabh come in. But when we were talking about that playing 11, Zach, Joyda, I am not over that 87 runs that Shreyas scored, that beautiful shot that he played to Bumrah, the Yorker, which is why Shreyas Iyer is our player to watch out for, powered by Vida. Zach, he's somebody who's been so reliable, so consistent, just like the Vida electric scooter. We've seen what he's done in 2020 for Delhi after 7 long years. He took them to the playoffs. Then we've seen what he's done with KKR. It was a long, long wait of 10 years. He picked up that trophy for them. And then now for Punjab, a third team, it's been 11 long years. So we are seeing that it's just been a long, long wait for them. Shreyas Iyer comes as captain, and then you can just bank on him. That's what he's done. How impressive has he been?
Well, he's building a reputation for himself, isn't it? By doing achieving these kind of feats. And for Punjab to be crossing the line, Shreyas is going to be that key component tonight. There's no doubt about it. He has to bring his A++ game, not only with his batting, but also with his captaincy. He's someone who's been talking about staying calm, absorbing pressure, doing the right things, and he's always looked under control. That has been the hallmark of Shreyas right throughout the season. With regard to the team, they've seen highs, they've seen lows, all the emotional roller coaster ride which they've had. We've been talking about the one game where they've managed to score 240 but yet managed to lose the game, and then won a spectacular game with low score. All those kind of things have been happening for this team. And there's one guy who's been controlling and in the middle of all the action, which has been Shreyas. So he's definitely evolved as a cricketer.
Yes.
And all the credit goes to him.
Zach, you've captained him.
Yes, 2016, right,
Yeah,
Zach?
you've captained him. What was he like, when he first came to the league?
Well, like any other cricketer, he's a keen learner. He's looking to evolve. Would talk about pretty much everything, right from the fashion, fashion icon he is, to how he wants to improve and make an impact as a cricketer. Yeah.
But Joyda, we know that he is a magician when he's not playing cricket.
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
really
And that
has.
too.
Yeah,
And
but
that too.
Yeah, he does it. I think he does it just to
juggling.
strike out the other team. Just juggling 3 balls just out there.
No, but I've seen his magic tricks. Like, I have been on the other side of the table, so we know how good he is with his magic, but he really has been creating magic as a captain. It's just incredible what he's done, and this time around, there's just a sense of calm in him. We've seen that reaction against KKR when he went really crazy, but otherwise he's just been so calm. Even that last match we saw, absolutely no celebration.
No, I think exactly that I think there's a job still to be done. And he knows the job is not complete, so he's not celebrating yet. And now, that's what I like about him. He's hungry for the complete. Reaching a final is not good enough. And that's what he's telling his team. And just look at that. How many teams have, captained? We all know Dhoni's 10 times. Rohit's, 5 times, and Rohit is, remember, 5-0 in that analysis. Shreyas 3 times ahead of Gambhir and Pandya, and that you have to say is a fantastic record. And for 3 different teams.
Well, for all these reasons, not only with the bat, not only for being so calm, not only for being that magician, Shreyas Iyer is a player to watch out for, powered by Vida. He's had an incredible season, but when it comes to these big games, when it comes to pressure, there's one man who knows how to soak it in, and we have a question about this one man. Let's have a look at that question. Kuldeep S. asks us, internationally, there's a Fab 4 debate. Even for India, generations have debated between Gavaskar, Sachin, Kohli and so on. But just in the Indian T20 League, fair to say that Virat Kohli is the undisputed king. Zach, lots of